The days are becoming shorter and cooler again now. These flowers will soon shrivel into dry seed pods that will patiently wait out the winter. My neighbors who grow cotton, soybeans, corn, and wheat begin their fall harvests. This was an incredible summer for all of us. The weather's been perfect, the crop's huge, mine included. I got everything I wanted this year. All of my best females produced, and the growth this year has been excellent. This pond is the last holding place for the best offspring from 4 separate parent sets: Ochiba, Kujaku, some Sanke, and some Showas. In this pond are Showas and Kuhakus. Many of the best of my best for this season are in this pond. 8 to 12 inches and just over 5 months old. It's time for my final harvest too. The nights are getting cooler and the water temperature is dropping. During my harvest, I set up some temporary tanks to transition the koi from mud water to filtered water. The harvest will happen over a 2-week period between late October and early November. Here I'm pumping down a tosai pond. These are the same Kohakus and Showas we took a close look at in the last episode of On the Farm in Carolina. Again, the Kohakus are from a separate Kohaku parent set. These were put in this pond with the Showas at the second cull for safety. This gives you an idea of the rarity of tancho. I'll end up with about 4 or 5 tancho Showas at the end of the season of culling. That's out of about 300,000 Showa fry. This is a great looking group of tosai. When I first began koi breeding, my very best tosai were about 6 inches long at harvest time. Today, my very best tosai are 10 inches to 12 inches at harvest. This progression has come from refining and improving my farming techniques over the years. The details and technical issues sometimes blow my tiny mind. Harvest time is validation. The results are right in front of me, and I see my successes and my failures clearly. And over the winter, I make notes and refine my techniques even more. This is the color development I want to see at this age. Youthful, high quality, not forced. Here's a look into the past of Showa. A brownish beni and flat charcoal type sumi. This one's a little more modern with traditional Showa patterning. Here's another older style Showa. This sumi will become black over time, but it won't have the modern gloss. Here are some examples of my modern Showas. You can see the refinements of red and black, even at this age. Thick key plates, sumi that's deep and emerges more like the sumi of Sankei. The development process of modern Showas is really a 180-degree opposite of how the color of older style Showas develop. Each has to be understood and looked at uniquely. These Tosai are moved up to the barn area and are studied and sorted. Some will be set aside for the winter, to be grown out next summer. These will be put into a separate holding pond for the winter, and won't be considered for sale until they are Nisai. This chore takes up the rest of the afternoon. Here are a few that I've chosen. The Showas in this tub began here in May. Now they're beginning to look like shokoi. Harvesting continues with more Tosai. In this tank are Kujaku, Harawaki, Chagoi, Soragoi, Ochiba, Sankei, and more Showas. After this, I move on to another pond of Tosai Kohakus. These are the kohakus we looked at in earlier issues also. The water is pumped out of the pond, and harvesting here becomes a little like picking apples up off the ground. Keep in mind the water is cool now. This is not something I could do in the summer. These tosai wait around patiently to be picked up and moved up to the barn also. Here they'll be sorted and evaluated also. Here's a quick look at the summer. Later, I move on to harvesting nisai. My sons have been born into koi farming and are oblivious to the obsessions of koi. Koi nuts will travel thousands of miles to see a single fish here. My kids find more fun in the mud. Who knows what will evolve? As the water drains away, I begin to see what I've grown over the summer. I get very excited about nisai. At this age, these koi are really beginning to show what they're made of. For me, it's another level of validation. What the parent sets are capable of, what my water and soil here in North Carolina are capable of. I want to see the body lines, the shapes of the heads, the tail tubes, the proportions and development of the skeleton, and the development of the colors. The kiwa, the sashi, how the skin reflects light, and the timeline of color development, how quickly or slowly the colors are maturing. All of these details factor into what I'm producing. These nisai are given a bath in salt water as they're moved up from the mud. I work quickly and carefully, but it's easy to get distracted with their beauty. The last time I saw these koi, they were tosai of half the length and girth. More and more emerge from the mud. And the harvesting continues. These are all koi of 29 months and older. Here are some before and afters. Anchorworms are a part of koi farming and aren't a big issue to me. These will be picked off with a tweezer. All koi coming from the farm ponds are treated with Dimilin to get rid of anchorworms in all life stages. These larger koi are all females. The bodies are filling out and growing in length. We don't see a lot of difference in coloration at this age. The colors will finish later. Here's a look at some of the koi that went in as unsexed tocai in the spring. We looked at these earlier in issue number 3 of Koi Fix. This one is a male. The sumi is going to be large and possibly a bit scattered. The he plate, white skin, and body shape are coming along nicely. As tocai, this sanke had a large streak of he in the tail. I chose it anyway, because I knew it would recede. Here's a look at the change. This is what it looked like as tocai. And here we see how much the red streak has receded toward the body. From the top, the tailstop looks nice and clean. A tocai Showa. Watch the Motoguro. This one's a female. Notice how the Motoguro is pulling in on the pecs toward the body, and black is emerging on the nose, forming a nice balance. This one is male and has the potential to become a nice show koi in size 4 in the next 3 years, if it's not allowed to grow too much. Another Showa with a different type of black. Notice the Motoguro on this one begins at the base of the pecs and moves outward. This is a female with excellent future potential. This one should be grown as large as possible, then the colors finish later for showing at 6 to 10 years old. This female is showing a characteristic I see in the Sadazo line sometimes, a loose, scrappy hi and sumi that tightens up when the fish matures. Everything is in the right place, though. I was excited about this kohaku as tosai, and she is impressing me even more as nisai. Excellent color quality and an unusual patterning on a nice frame. Another kohaku with a lot of male characteristics. We'll see in the spring. Watch the black patterning under the skin of this Tancho Sanke. The skin on tosai is thin. When the koi matures some, though, the skin thickens and can completely conceal the underlying sumi. This is a young female. When the sumi matures, it'll emerge through the white and show itself again. Another nice male, showing the slower color development we appreciate females for. As the fall weather rolls in, the koi show less and less interest in eating. In the next issue of Koi Fix DV magazine, we'll be moving into winter and the challenges and adventures that come with it here on the farm in Carolina.